So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the combat in the Axis Unseen. Since it's not just an action game where you just run around shooting monsters, but it's more of a hunting simulator where you have to be really deliberate and think about exactly what you're doing and why and how you position yourself in the world. So instead of me just yammering on and on about it, I'll just hop into the game and start talking about some of the systems that exist and how it all works together. You might see some debug messages and bugs and things like that. This is only, 6 or 7 months of progress so far. So one of the things is that you have to pay attention to what you're walking on. Like dirt is relatively quiet, but if I start walking these rocks, that will make more noise. So you have to be a little bit more careful. And also, I could shoot it with an arrow, and it'll stick into the dirt. But if I shoot rocks, it'll break. Also, if I walk on dirt, it'll leave footsteps, but then if I walk on the rocks, it won't. Unless I was walking over something muddy, then it will leave tracks on there for a little bit. Over here is where you level up. So these, altar stones are where you spend sort of the currency that you get from killing the creatures, and that will let you upgrade all your stats. Right now I'm not leveled up at all, so I just need 200 to upgrade each stat right now. So I'm just gonna slowly go here, and I don't know where anything is right now because the spawns are kind of randomized. So they could be anywhere. I have to keep my eyes out. Okay, I see something far off there. So I'm just gonna go really slow and approach it, but I'm gonna try and avoid the rocks because even though I'm gonna be leaving tracks here, I'm more worried about it hearing me than following my tracks. Because I'm not just following their tracks, but if I leave tracks like this, they can also follow those. So try and sneak around it. I think it's somewhere behind that rock. Don't think it actually knows where I am right now. You can also tell by the music cues. So it's just walking off that way and still doesn't know where I am. Also, I should keep an eye on how many arrows I have, which is not a ton. Oh, it sees me. I think it doesn't quite know what it sees, but it sees me. I think it's following my tracks. I'm gonna try and back away slowly. It's looking at the tracks and not at me. You can see where its head is actually pointed. So it's just sort of following where those tracks are. So it's probably gonna come right around this corner, following my trail of tracks. There it is. Take the shot. Got it. See, the music goes back to normal now that it has no idea where I am. But something else is hearing me. Oh, it's close. It's right there. Oh, it smells me. You see the wind is blowing in this direction. So this thing is trying to track me down right now by smelling me. So it'll eventually smell me, but then it'll also see those footprints for where I walked, and then it will follow those footprints to try and get me. But I can try and loop around before it follows my tracks. Because it's going to go around that rock where I walked. How many arrows do I have left? It's really close. So here you can see the aftermath of this all, where there's the tracks from the creatures, the tracks from me, going there and back, the blood where I took care of it. So I'm gonna go up this hill and see if I can find anything. So that item on the bottom left of the screen, that's the number of healing items I have, which right now is just 3. But I only have 2 arrows. so I'm gonna have to be pretty careful. Yeah, it's right there. There's two of them, so we'll see if I can actually do this. I think it heard me going up those stairs, so... Got that one. Oh, but now the other one's coming. It hears me. So, it killed me. So I dropped all of the currency that I had, so I'm going to go up to the top of this hill. And you can see it there. Like, that's... If I go and get that back, I won't lose it. But if I die, it's gone. So there's a creature, and there's one. So I'll just try and avoid them to try and get that back. So hopefully the top of this cliff is clear, since there's a couple down there. So I got it back. Here we go. And you can also use this currency not just to level up, but to also like purchase special arrow types or healing items. Because you'll need special arrows to kill certain creatures. Like for instance, there's creatures that are made of wood. You can't really arrow something made out of wood to death, so you need fire arrows. And you're probably hearing my cat meow sometimes. So let's see if there's anything back here. Oh. Something hears me. So just go take it out. You should always try and pick up your arrows after combat. So there we go. Still have quite a few. Looks like I'm clear, so let's just head back. Or not. Alright, so to more clearly illustrate some stuff, this is my test level, and I can use all sorts of debug commands to see, like, what does this creature see, for instance? Like, it sees me. So I should probably be further away from it when I do that. So to more clearly illustrate some of the gameplay, this is my test level, and I can use all sorts of debug commands, like this one, to see how far this creature can see and things like that. Like I can fly the camera up, and the pink is like how far it can hear, the green is how far it can see. So this is not, they usually have much better vision than that. But it makes it easier for me to show you how you see. When I'm sprinting, it actually goes even further than that default value because it's a multiplier on it. So you can see, if you look closely, it says hearing 3. So that's louder. Whereas if I'm walking quietly and it hears something, I can get a little closer, see? And it's still not actually hearing it, even though I'm in the regular range. But it is seeing my tracks. So you can see all these little traces that shoot out. It's seeing every single footprint that I leave, and we'll follow those footprints. You can see it's looking at every single one. It's like, there's one, there's one, there's one, and it will try and track me. Initially, I came from over there, so it's checking out those tracks. Like, hey, is there something over there? And it goes to investigate it. See if it hears something, and we'll go and check that out. Like, it's going to the tracks, but then if I shoot over there, it's going to hear that. Hey, look over there. See, so you can distract them in that way. It will just keep following my tracks as I go. Now you can also see that the wind is pointing in this direction, so it's actually smelling me as well. So it matters not just where you walk and what tracks you leave, but what direction the wind is going and where the creature is. So if I wanted to stop smelling me, I would want to get away from that wind direction. Here you can see, since I'm not downwind of it, the wind is going this way. It doesn't actually hear me. It's just seeing my tracks. And also things leave blood trails. So I shot it with an arrow, and it's going to go running off. It will leave all these tracks, but then periodically it will bleed. so you can follow all the tracks and the blood and see where it went. There's one way to go here. See, it keeps leaving more. If it sees me again, it will run away. Over here you can see a bunch of test areas I have set up to see how your arrows and your footprints react to things. Like this is a stone thing, so if I shoot it, an arrow will break. If I shoot the dirt, that will stick, and I can get it back. But the arrow, when I shoot it against stone, it's also louder, so the creature might hear it more. So you can decide, is it worth wasting an arrow? But you might do a better job of distracting it. Same with if I walk on these, this will make a louder sound, but it doesn't leave footprints. So, like, do I think it's close enough to hear me? You have to decide that. Over here, yeah, you can see how it'll leave footprints. So that's the Axis Unseen and how the combat works. I hope you like seeing an in-depth look at how it all works and how it's not just an action game, but like a deep simulator where all these surfaces and sounds all matter. Because I think it's really interesting to have a game where you're really paying attention to what is happening around you in the world and not just sort of running at glowing lines of like, hey, go this way, but really thinking about how the creatures are reacting to the world and to you as if you're really there. Because I really want to make an immersive game, and I think that's like an interesting approach to things. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to wishlist the game on Steam, and also, subscribe here, wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is. Thanks.